What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another video. Trying to get back on this car. It's been a minute since I've touched it. It's past Christmas. I think it's been 2 or 3 weeks since I've touched it. I finally got some welding gas for my welder. I've been practicing with it, as you saw the last video. Got that kind of squared away, ready for some body work. So now I am ready to move on to the engine bay portion. I still have some wiring harnesses and like the things in the engine bay still need to be taken out, but I am right now moving next to patching some holes that I don't want in the engine bay no more. So right now I am working on these 2 major holes. I'm going to walk you guys through what I'm going to do, what I have done already, and why I'm doing it. So why I'm doing this is because my engine bay, I have deleted a lot of stuff on it because it does have a custom turbo kit, and it's got a lot of things that are just been deleted because of the parts that are on the motor. When you're modifying some of these cars and you're doing like custom turbo kits and custom intercooler kits, a lot of things aren't going to fit back from the factory, let's say. And a lot of things, when you modify a car for performance, you're going to have to delete a lot of things from the factory on it. So that's what I'm doing, is I'm cleaning things up. So like for instance, I haven't had AC on my car ever since I went with that custom Sidewinder turbo kit, because the intercooler that was made for that turbo kit with the vibrant clamps, the compressor housing was in the way. You just had to take it off to run it. So I deleted it a long time ago. So right now, these 2 holes, these are pretty much like the reservoirs for the canister on the AC side. And this is the side where all the AC lines used to run. So they had sleeves that set in these holes for those canisters for the AC system. And that's just how these cars were from the factory. So if you still have AC, you're still going to use these holes. But for me, since I don't have AC at all, they're just holes. So I don't run fender liners in the front of this car anymore because everything's going to be custom painted, and I want all that stuff to show. Everything gets flung up inside of here because as you can see, they're pretty big holes. Like, they're not small. So I'm going around and I'm plugging up everything I can as far as holes go to just smooth it out, get rid of them. This car will never have AC in it probably ever again. I will probably never sell it unless I really, really have to, but it just will never have AC because of that turbo kit on it. And I don't plan on changing the turbo kit on it. So what I've done already is I have got some steel here. Just some regular old steel, and I have pretty much just fit it behind here, traced it with the marker on the top, and then I have come and got my circles cut out. I've already got this one. I'll show you guys. So this one I've already cut out. I need to like fine tune it to get it to fit better, but for the most part, it goes in here pretty well. Like it holds. Yeah, you get it in here, it holds it really well, but I need to trim the edges a little bit better. So this is a kind of like a curve, and this is a flat piece of metal, so I'm going to have to bend this. I'm going to have to like work with it, fine tune it to get it to go in here the way I need it, to shape it, let's say, to get it to hold, because when I go to weld this in here, I want this to be as flush as possible, and then I can do my body work after I weld it over that. So I want to go ahead and cut out this next one. The way I'm doing this is it's pretty simple. I just got some metal shears, and I'm just going through here. I'm trying to probably save some of this in case I need it, because I do have some holes on the core support that I kind of want to fill. That's a lot of holes. I mean, you don't have to fill them, but I think it's a little bit better if it's all smooth. This is where it gets really tedious when you start doing this stuff to your car. Is you're have to do this stuff by hand. Um, if you got like the ability to go somewhere that has tools where you can get this stuff cut a lot faster after you make your templates, that'll speed you up a little bit. But for the most part, all this stuff is done by hand because you want to get it as, like I said, as flush as possible. Because if you don't get it flush and you have a big gap, it's not going to be very fun to weld. It's going to be really hard. You're going to have to be a really good welder to do it. And right now, I'm not really good at welding, so I am trying to make my life easier and get these things cut as precise as I can. And all you do, like I'm doing now, it's not hard, it's not easy. Depending on what thickness of metal you have, I just got regular old, I don't even know what gauge this is, to be honest with you. I don't have a gauge around me to tell you, but it's just regular old steel that I got. This piece was actually a kit that I bought from a local guy in my state. He makes these covers. You can see a shape. He makes these covers to where you can actually drill holes, and he already marks them. That's what those marks are for. Where you drill a hole, and you can actually just paint this, drill your holes, and rivet it on here, and just cover all this up. And I bought his kit thinking, oh, I'll just wrap it in like carbon, or use it as a template for a carbon plate, and I'll just do that. I'll just drill holes and I'll rivet it on there. That way, if I ever do want AC again, I can just cut the rivets off and have the hole. There'll be holes, but the holes will still be there. So I decided I'm going for it. And I am just going to weld these suckers up. I have seen some of these cars with shaved engine bays, and to me, it looks a lot better because for some reason, these cars have a lot of holes in them. Just a lot of nonsense. So when you delete all that and you do body work and you shave them on, you make it all smooth. To me, it completely transformed your engine bay. It's all smooth. The holes that are only there are the holes that you use for your bolts and the things that hold the headlights in or whatever, what have you. It makes it look a lot better. I don't know what it is about it that I like. It's just the smoothness of it. It looks really, really cool. I know a lot of the guys that have been around for a while, I've heard them talk about starting to dislike engine bays that are shaved. They're wanting more the OEM look, and I don't blame them for that, and I don't have really a good reason why I don't like the OEM or anything, but everybody has their own taste. I get why they don't want to do all of it, and they want to get away from the look of it being a shaved engine bay, because back in the early 2000s, everybody was shaving their engine bays. Like, it got to the point where there was no holes. You couldn't see wiring harnesses. You couldn't see anything. It looked like the motor was just floating there, and everything was hand fabricated, sheet metal wise, and everything got painted. It got graphics if it had graphics on the car. Everything just looked so smooth. And there are still shops out there, restoration shops, a lot of them are still doing it that way. They're just hand fabricating filler plates around to kind of just hide everything and make it look like the motor is just tucked in there and everything is painted, and it all looks really, really nice. It hides all the wiring harnesses, it hides everything but the motor, and it looks really, really good. So there are a lot of people still doing it, but there are a lot of people that just don't want to do it anymore, don't want to have that look. To me, either way, it doesn't bother me, honestly. But I think we are getting more towards the OEM plus side of things now. There are a lot of, I think the YouTubers have really got into big about doing OEM Plus on everything. Really nice cars. They all do a really good job doing it. But I think the custom side of it has kind of gone away. It's not as popular anymore. So I'm in a small town. I'm in the country. I want to take this car. I want the younger generation to kind of get that spark again, like I had when I was a kid. When I saw those cars that had those crazy paint jobs on them, I always wondered how they shaved everything. I just never knew, and I thought it was so cool. It totally changed the look of the car. Sometimes you didn't even know what car it was because it was changed so much. So that's why I'm doing it, is I just think it's a really neat effect. So, see, I got this pretty much, all I'm doing is, you can see my black outline, I'm just really just trimming it, and I'm not doing anything crazy. I'm giving myself a little bit more than I need, just because I outlined it from the top with the metal on the bottom, so that means I outlined the center of it, so I need to leave a little bit more slack towards the outside. And this is it's a fairly easy, if you got access to metal and you have your car tore apart already and you're in the process of putting the motor back in or maybe getting the engine bay painted, this is not hard. Like, this is actually, it's time consuming. That's the only thing it is. If you know how to cut your templates out, get you a welder that's relatively cheap. You're going to be spending anywhere from $800 to $1,500 on a welder, depending if you want to MIG it or TIG it. MIGging, I would recommend MIGging just because you can hammer and dolly it. TIGging, you really can't do that. TIG, you can get really nice welds, which would be kind of cool if you're a really good welder. You can like TIG it and just leave the welds without grinding them down. But MIGging is what you really want. Get you a really good welder. Practice if you don't know how to weld. Get some coupons like this. Just go to any, salvage yard that sells metal, and you can get into this like really, really, relatively cheap. Because if you take it to one of these shops, let's say for me, for existence, if somebody comes to me and asks how much this is going to cost to like shave their engine bay, it's going to be a lot of money because it is really time consuming. You might not have a bunch of money into materials. You might have $500, $800 all together in between your sheet metal, the welding, the gas that you have for your welder, and the body work, and to get it in primer. You might not have but maybe less than $1,000 in it, but you're going to have a week or two, 40 to 80 hours and just welding all this stuff up and body working it and getting it ready for paint. So you could charge a lot of money to do something like this that really isn't difficult. Every car is different, obviously, because every car is made differently. So you will have to deal with that, but get you a welder, get you some sheet metal, get you some metal shears if you want to. Do it like I'm doing it. And get into very, very relatively cheap if you have a place to do it. And just have a ball with it. You can really learn a lot about how metal works when you're doing something like this, especially when you're welding it in yourself. So the next process, you might be asking, what's next? And that is just getting this stuff fine-tuned. And when I mean fine-tuned, I mean that getting it to fit as tight as possible inside these holes. and staying by itself. Like this one's pretty much there. There's a little bit that needs cut off at the top here. Oh, about went too far there. And you can have something that's really, really, oh, it is thin metal, so you're going to have to work with it a little bit. It's not going to just stay in there to stay in there. You're going to have to, like for this piece, I got to bend it a little bit and get that get that little bit of that shape going on with it to get it to go and stay. But I want it to fit in there to where I might have to put like a one little clamp on it to hold it, but for the most part, it holds. And that's the goal, is like to get it in there. And I might just, you know, I'll obviously have to grind around the hole to get this paint off, to get it bare metal to where it's going to ground. And I'll just tack it in, and I'll hammer and dolly it down, and I'll just tack it one, you know, I won't do it all in one smooth pass. I'll do like one corner, tack it, tack the other corner, kind of hammer and dolly it a little bit, get it in there flush, tack the other corner, do the other corner, and just slowly work around it until it is pretty much filled up, and then you can grind it down, and then you're pretty much ready for body work. But I just wanted to kind of show you guys that this stuff, you can really do it if you have some time and you have a little bit of, add some little bit of skill to it. Not much, it's not bad, it's relatively easy to do. It's just going to take you some time, and you can really pull off something really cool. See, like this one, I kind of messed this one up, and I've got a little bit of a gap right here that I don't really like too much. So it's not a big deal, but what I'll do is I'll end up cutting a little bit of this over here, and I'll get it to kind of wedge in there a little bit more. Boom. And that should, I would think, get it to where it's going to stay. So that's pretty much what I'm going to be doing to this whole thing. So my next thing is I'm going to grind around here, and we're going to get these things tacked in here. And I want to get my welder set up. I might show you guys a little bit of that, but I won't bore you with it. And then we can move on to the next process. So I ended up getting a few tacks on. It's in there pretty good. It's not the prettiest. Still trying to dial in this welder. This is my settings right now. I barely got the wire going. And then the heat's a little, very little. So this metal is pretty thin. The stuff on the engine bay inside of here, the structural stuff, is not that bad. It's this that you gotta be worried about because it's really thin metal. So I don't have it hot. But once I get it tacked in, I can just follow around and complete that weld. But yeah, it's turning out pretty good so far. Once I get this welder adjusted, it should be rocking and rolling. pretty well. So that's pretty much it, guys. Like it's not that bad once you, like I said, once you get the welder dialed in, you know, you get your shapes all cut out, you can get this stuff welded in pretty quick. A lot of people don't completely weld it. They'll weld like 90% of it and just, you know, pretty much fiberglass or whatever the rest of it. And because you got to do the bottom side and the top side, obviously. So it doesn't really take too long once you start getting rolling. It's just getting that initial started, getting everything shaped in there all right, hammering, dollying it down. This is going to be a little tricky because it does have a curve, like I was showing you guys earlier, but it's really not too bad. I mean, once you start getting 2 or 3 tack welds in, you can kind of start bending it and hammering and dollying it to where it shapes it. Because the goal is to not really have much body work up here at all. I don't want to have like any more than like a 1/16 inch of mud. I'm going to put a little bit of fiberglass down once I get it all pretty much solidly welded in there. Put a little bit of fiberglass down. I use FiberTech for that, if you're wondering. Like a thin coat of it just to go over the welds. Once you're grinding down and addressing all your welds flat, put a little bit of that on it on both sides, and then you can pretty much like grind it back down as smooth as possible, and then start doing your body work. So a little bit of thin coat of fiberglass, and then you can do your body work over top of it. But in between that, before you put your fiberglass on, put like edge primer or something over top of it, just to protect that metal. Even though fiberglass does get hard, you still want to have that protection because it is bare metal right there. So put some like weld through primer on there if you got any. I use this stuff of R&M. I use this for edge primer. This is good for that. You put a little bit of that on it, and it just protects the metal from rusting out or getting moisture to it or anything like that. So it's a good barrier to put down. So yeah, I gotta run and get my kids, so I'm gonna stop the video here. I'll slowly start working on this some more, getting it all pretty much welded in. I just got to really get this welder dialed in. It quit on me a little bit. I don't know what happened, but I started to move the dials around on the voltage side, and it started kicking the wire back through. So I don't know what was up with that, but it is only a 140, so you can't really expect too much out of it. But for this type of stuff, it's perfect for it. I mean, you're not getting like you're going to be grinding everything down anyways. You just want to make sure that thing is welded in there. So I need to just piddle with it some more. I need to get some coupons and do some practice runs on coupons and just dial it in to where it's like pretty much I just got to pick it up and go, because I'm still tinkering around and making sure I'm not burning through anything or anything like that. So it's just tricky. Haven't done it for a very long time, so kind of teaching myself again. But other than that, I'm pretty happy with it. It'll be good for what it is. I mean, I want to get that all smoothed out anyways, so it'll be awesome once it's done and once it's all one piece. But yeah, we'll start moving along. I don't know, next video, whenever it is. So just keep updated. I'll try to push out some more content for you guys about this. I wish I had more time to be out here and work on this car. I just don't have any right now. So once my kid gets a little bit older, he can kind of come out here with me, help me out. But yeah, until then, I'll see you guys on the next one. Take care.